Hello and welcome to a special episode of Ask Mark. We are here today with Sarah from EM Rogers, who have very kindly asked us to come over and do a special episode here discussing women in the transport industry. Do you want to just describe briefly what you do here, what your role is and what it involves?
I'm one of the directors of the business. It's a family-run business here, and I've been here around about 10 years. I'm very involved with all aspects of the business, less so operationally on the road transport side, but I look after the shipping and air freight side of the business, but also things like dealing with HR issues, website, business development, as with a lot of family businesses, basically being involved in whatever needs doing.
Wearing many hats at
yes,
the same
exactly.
time. Fantastic. So we've got some stats here and some figures which we wanted to sort of ask you about with your experience of 10 years in the industry. So one of the statistics is around why transport is such a male-dominated industry. So one of the statistics we pulled is only 8% of the 1.8 million in the transport industry or haulage industry are women, and only 1% of HGV drivers are women. Why, in your opinion, is the industry so male-dominated?
I guess, those figures don't surprise me at all, and they're probably reflected on what we see in our business here. Our office does have more women in it because you've got the accounts function, which would be traditionally a more female-oriented environment, and within the office we have got probably an even split between men and women. But amongst our drivers, we have only got one female driver amongst 75. I guess historically it's a pretty physical industry. Before the trucks were as advanced as they are now, probably needed a certain degree of physical strength. As time goes on, I guess probably it's just got a reputation as being a strongly male-oriented industry, and perhaps some of the ways of working, especially with our business being away such a long periods of times, having nights out, having weekends away, maybe aren't geared up to being that female-friendly.
Yes, especially as we discussed previously, you're a new mum.
Yeah, yes.
New mums would especially face a challenge if they were trying to do the job.
Definitely. With the driving hours and the way that the haulage industry works, there's not necessarily the opportunity for part-time work or flexible hours if you're on the road within the office environment, or maybe for smaller vehicles, if you're just doing local van deliveries, then maybe there's an option for that.
Yeah.
For our work, where drivers are going all over Europe, well, obviously you're not going to be back in time to put the children to bed, and that might sound a bit of a stereotypical thing, but obviously if you have got young children, then you need to be around.
It is a challenge.
Probably, I was going to say probably facilities as well for females with services and things like that are not really geared up very well to that
That's
environment. True. You kind of have to be sort of a little bit male and blinkered about some of the state of services and get used to it kind of thing, and it's not something you would expect someone to
I'm going to direct this one to you as well, because you said you've got one female driver who's been with you how long now?
Probably about 4 or 5 years.
Okay. And Mark, because you go out to a wide range of companies and see the entire industry, do you see this balance changing at all, or...?
No.
Okay.
No, not. It is the simple answer. As far as the driving community is concerned, it's just not that type of environment, and until we can break down those barriers, like Sarah said, some of the equipment now has got much easier to use. It's a less kind of it's less manual and physical now, so you don't necessarily need that amount of strength. I mean, I can go back to, I've actually done some driving for Rogers about 20 years ago.
Okay.
Stripping out what they call a tilt trailer in 40-degree heat in Italy is no mean feat, I can assure you. Because you've got planks of wood pushing up and down and trying to roll it back and all that kind of thing. And I'm not saying that women can't do it, but would they want to?
It's not necessarily that appealing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, would any of my friends particularly want to be like having nights out and sleeping in lorry cabs? I can't really think that many of them would, but
no.
Obviously some that are, and great that there is.
So within the haulage industry, if it were to try and reach out to redress that balance a little bit more, what do you think the push should be from either of you in terms of how should they approach trying to bring more women into this industry?
I think personally we have to broaden the spectrum. Okay, the haulage industry is not just about driving a truck. It has to be about all of the other aspects within this industry. whether that's accounts, whether that's planning, whether
Yeah.
it's HR,
Yeah.
whatever that may well be, whether it's senior management, whatever that may well be, we've got to move away from this stigma that the haulage industry is about driving.
Yeah.
It is, but it's not all
Yeah.
about driving. They could do a training role.
Time management,
Yeah,
essentially,
exactly.
is-
That,
yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah. And things have to become more flexible, I think, within the industry
Yeah.
to help out, whether it be sort of new mothers
Yeah.
or people that want some kind of flexible working hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of, drivers on the road. I can't think of particularly anything because of the nature of how the role is, the long hours, the being away. I can't think of anything that particularly would appeal to women.
Yeah.
But then, it's the same as getting any young people in the business. So, does haulage, does transport particularly appeal to young people? I'm not sure that it does. There is
No,
a
no.
shortage of drivers, isn't there?
Definitely.
There definitely is, within our company, you can definitely see there's a lot of older drivers, and there will be a
Yeah.
shortage at some point. We haven't been particularly affected by it so far, I think, because what we do is quite niche and quite interesting. The drivers are away for it and go to
Yeah.
really diverse range of places, but there isn't that many young drivers coming through the door, and I think
Yeah.
that is potentially an issue, and not that many young females or males coming through, so
No.
it's
So-
generally making the industry more appealing, full stop, I think, rather than just to women, I think.
It sounds like, from an external point of view, the challenges around the 1% drivers and the drivers in general, the challenges young drivers, male or female, getting them into that industry, the way to address this balance would be to bring more people in other roles. The 8% is still low for
Yes,
office-based roles and
definitely.
everything, and then that might filter down through everything.
Yeah.
Just to wrap up, do you want to give everyone a brief description of what you guys do as a business? We know you're in transport, but what
Yeah.
makes your business unique around what you do? Or different?
So we have been established since 1945, so we've been
Right.
around a long time. We predominantly do international transport. We have a depot in northern Italy for our general haulage, but over the last 10 years we've seen an increase in the number of car transport we do, and that really now is the bulk of our business. We run enclosed car transporters, so if you see our trucks on the road you wouldn't necessarily know they were car transporters, but we do move a lot of vehicles, and it's all at pre-production stage for the manufacturers, but also classic cars, auction vehicles, so specialist vehicle movement. So if you've got your pride and joy car, which you don't want to kind of be put on the back of an open trailer or driven if you're going to a show or taking it away on holiday or whatever, then that's where we come in to move it around Europe, and we also do the air freight and the shipping side as well.
So how many vehicles you're operating?
Around about 75.
Fantastic. Well, I hope this has been interesting and informative. There's no right or wrong answers really, it's just opinions as to what the trends in the market are, where they might go. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the episode and look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you.